The Biden administration has been using a legal loophole in order to make over 100 arms sales to the Israeli military without notifying the American public. You read that right. Washington has approved more than 100 separate military sales to so-called Israel since its invasion of Gaza. These sales amounting to thousands of precision-guided munitions, small-diameter bombs, bunker busters, small arms, and other lethal aid, according to anonymous sources. Those sales being on top of the already 3 public military sales the Biden administration has made to the Israeli military, including $320 million in precision bomb kits in November, 14,000 tank shells costing $106 million, and $147.5 million worth of fuses and other components needed to make 155mm artillery shells in December. For those of you who don't know how this is going on, the Arms Export Control Act essentially makes it to where when you're selling military hardware to a foreign entity, there is a level of transparency and a level of accountability that goes into that process. But that Control Act makes significant exceptions for sales to close allies, a limit of $25 million for major defense equipment defined as big ticket items that require a lot of research and development, but that limit also rises to $100 million for other defense articles like bombs. The loophole here is that if you're a presidential administration who's selling military equipment to a key ally, say so-called Israel, and the total dollar amount for those shipments does not equal these key numbers, you actually don't have to worry about the Arms Control Act kicking in. You can in fact make these sales under the table. Essentially, the weapons transfers were processed without any public debate because each fell under a specific dollar amount that requires the executive branch to individually notify Congress. Essentially, the Biden administration, instead of doing a couple of large sales that would have forced the administration to notify Congress and by extension the public, has instead split these sales into over 100 smaller sales so they can avoid ever having to tell anyone. The Biden administration, recognizing that these sales are incredibly unpopular, is doing everything it can to hide those sales from Congress and hide those sales from the American people. I want you to think about that. The President of the United States is utilizing a loophole to sell military equipment under the table to a military force that is committing genocide. This being a genocide that has led to the mass slaughter of over 30,000 Palestinians, including over 13,000 children, the mass injury of over 70,000, and the mass displacement of over 2 million. And as Israeli occupational forces continue bombarding Palestinians from within the confines of a concentration camp, the Biden administration is dealing weapons to them under the table to ensure their operations do not slow or stop. That is more than complicity. That is the administration becoming an open, enthusiastic co-conspirator in a genocide. And at the same time the Biden administration is doing that, Biden is lying to us, telling us he is doing everything he can to get a ceasefire and doing everything he can to help Palestinians in Gaza. Think about that, because in a normal world, a story like that should mean the end to a presidential administration. Something worth thinking on, I think. As always, free Palestine, and have a great day.